magic, let's dive in.
So tell me, what do the cards reveal? What's the truth they conceal? She's the high priestess with the key to every question that's haunting me. A lover's heart or a warning from the past. In the terror's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place.
In the tarot's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place. The moonlight glows, the veil is thin. Lunar affinity will call again. Thanks for walking in the light, where guides whisper pure insight. Until we meet, the cards will wait. Mystic whispers guide your fate. With every message our spirits send, for cosmic dreams our souls transcend.
Hello and welcome in, everyone. Please make sure you are liking the live stream. I see that 9 people have asked a yes/no question, but only 4 likes that I've got so far. So if you haven't had the chance to like the live stream, please do so. As I say this every time, it's the only thing I ask of you guys to exchange for a free question. So I keep an eye on that. It does help with the algorithm. So if you haven't had a chance to like the live stream yet, but you did ask a yes/no question, I do encourage you to like the live before we get started. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Is it just me or does this crystal look like it's glowing? Like, I don't know. It's like got like a high frequency energy or something. All right. Let's get some free reads started. For Amy, I am getting a yes for you, Amy. I have the Emperor. This is the card of trying to play it cool, calm, collected, maybe more in observation, but that's the Emperor. Hi, Emily. Welcome in. You guys, Mercury retrograde is doing a number on the people in my life. It's freaking crazy. We do have Venus retrograde going on now as well. I think that's been going on a little bit longer. But Mercury retrograde? You guys don't even understand the story. My brother called me today. You have never, I swear to God, y'all probably have never heard this before. My brother calls me today, and he owns a business. He has a coffee shop in Connecticut. He was stopping at FedEx to pick up some menus, and he pulled his car off to the side. He turned the hazards on. He said he was just going to run in real quick. I think they were already paid for. He was just picking them up. And I guess while he was inside the building, somebody came inside, like some security cop, something like that. Some guy in uniform was like, does anyone in here own a white SUV that was parked outside, right outside the store? And my brother was like, yeah, me. And they were like, your car is rolling down the road, crashing into vehicles. So my brother was like, what do you mean? So he, of course, runs outside. He's running down the street. I guess his car just like took off without him and crashed into a Porsche. So I don't have all the details. That's all the information I have right now. I don't know exactly what happened, but he was like, yeah, I got into a car accident, except I wasn't in the car. And that is like the most wildest story that I've ever heard. So anyways, sharing that with you to just basically say Mercury retrograde is fucking real. Like anything to do with travel, anything to do with communication, that shit's going to fuck you up. So just be aware, give yourself extra driving time, making sure you're paying attention to what you're doing, all of that, because this story is like the most shocking story that I've ever heard before. Space Cowboy. Hey, James, welcome in. Space Cowboy, I have a yes for you, 3 of Cups. It looks like you get more courageous the more people you have around you, the more that you feel supported. Chibi, let's see. I have a no for you, the Hermit, right now. Sophie. If you guys have dropped the yes, no question, please make sure you are liking the live stream. It's the only thing I ask of you to get a free question in exchange. You know, I offer anywhere from $50 to $100 worth of free readings every night. So liking the live is like the only thing I ask. So I just appreciate it if you guys would do that. Sophie, does Dan Cancer still want a romantic relationship? King of Wands. I'm going to go with yes. Bae. Is the connection with me and M over? I don't think so, Bae. I have reconciliation here. Ocean Summer. Will I get hired by one of the jobs I had interviewed with? I feel like yes. Queen of Swords for Ocean Summer. Smiley. Yes, the Hierophant. Kit Kat. The process of thinking about this, I am getting a yes for Kit Kat, 3 of Wands. Del Carmen. I have a yes, the Chariot. This is for Bae. There's still love here. But as far as the yes, no question, I am getting a yes. So I think that it is over. Yes, please like the live and support. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. I know that some people weren't liking the live stream tonight, so boo on you. Let's see. This is for Emily. I wish that it would show me actually like who liked my live stream, because then I could just cherry pick and just do free readings for those people. You know how like on social media you can see who's liking your stuff? That's how it should be on YouTube. Emily, I have a yes, the sun. Knight of Cups. Bae, where do you have Venus retrograde at? Like what house is, or not Venus retrograde, which house do you have Venus in your birth chart? Do you know? You're welcome, Amy. Hey, James. The retrograde just started on Saturday. Sorry to say. It's brand spanking new. I don't think it stops until the first week of April. I think it ends on April 7th. You're welcome, Smiley. You're welcome, Emily. I answered yes and no. No, I didn't. I think it's over. I think your relationship is over with this person. I didn't say yes. I said no. Or sorry, I said yes, it's over. I said, but there are still feelings there. So there's still love here in the connection, but I think the connection, like the relationship is over. Okay? Hopefully that explains. So Bae, with the 11th house, you might see a lot of changes in your social group, your social group of friends, maybe your goals, your aspirations. You might see some things changing in that area. All right, we're going to go ahead and close the list down. I'm going to answer these last couple of questions real quick. The free list is now closed. Wait, what? Bae, are you posting your question a bunch of times? Okay, so here's the thing. I asked you guys to post your question one time, because we have to go with the first answer. If you are asking a question again and you're asking over and over and I'm pulling multiple cards for you, I set the intention with my spiritual team that the first answer I give you is the actual answer. So just make sure that you're not posting the same question over and over again. I only need your question one time. So if that is what's causing the confusion, okay, Bae, I don't know. Hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. So my exact words that I said to you was, there is still love here. But as far as a yes no question, I am getting a yes that the connection is over. Yeah, so that's what I said. So if I didn't answer the question multiple times, that is what I said that I recall. So that's what I was talking about. Just make sure you guys are not, Bae, I know that you said that this wasn't you, but just make sure that you guys are only dropping your question one time, because you might get conflicting information. When it comes to tarot, you have to go with the first answer. Because what's going to happen is that you're not going to trust the tarot, you're not going to trust the reading. And again, I'm just generalizing this for everyone. I'm not picking on anyone specific, but the way that tarot works is the first answer you get, that's your answer. You can check back in a day or two later and see what the energies are. But the number one thing they teach you when you're learning tarot is that the first answer you get is your answer. If you ask over and over and over again, don't let enough time for the energy to change or shift. You're going to start getting conflicting answers, and the tarot will no longer be of value to you because then you're just going to be confused. It's another reason why you should only select certain tarot readers to go to, maybe like 2 or 3 at most, and just stick with those people. And once you find the person that works for you, stick with them. Because if you go to me and then you go to someone else and you go to someone else and you ask the same question to every single person that day, you might get conflicting answers. Not always, but you might. And I think that how is that beneficial to you? So just make sure that if you're stopping in, you're asking a question like a yes, no question, I only need you to post it one time and make sure that you're sure that that is the question you want answered. Because there are some people in here that will post a question, then they change their mind, then they delete it, then they post something else. I work out of a system called StreamYard, and I save your questions as they post. So if you delete a comment or you delete something out of YouTube, maybe other people in the chat won't any longer see your comment, but I will. So everything on the back end of StreamYard, I can see everything, even if you deleted your message. So just a little heads up on those things inside my chat. Bae, if that was confusing, I'm sorry. I was saying that you guys still have love here, but I think the connection is over. I do think the connection is over. Because you asked, is the connection over? And I said, but I am getting a yes. And I pulled the Hierophant card. So that a lot of times, if you break up with someone or if you guys are no longer communication, it doesn't mean that the feelings aren't still there. But that also doesn't necessarily mean you're getting back together either. You're welcome, everyone. Thank you, Amy. All right, Bae. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. If you see, that's what I'm saying. If you post your question like 10 times in the chat, because I counted, and you posted your question like 3 or 4 times. So go with whatever I said first. Okay. Go with whatever I said first. Don't worry about anything else that I said. Just worry about the first thing. All right. This is for Marta. Marta, I have a no, the 5 of Wands. James. James, we have a yes. We have the Page of Wands. Natty Nat. Oh my gosh, I have a yes for Natty. I have the 8 of Wands, momentum and celebration. Ray, hello. I feel like this is a no, Ray. I'm not confident in that no entirely because the 2 of Wands in other decks sometimes are a maybe. So just because the energy and the nature of this card, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say most likely not, actually. I'm going to say most likely not. Ari. Ari, yes. 10 of Pentacles. You're welcome, everyone. All right, so we're just going to hang out for a little bit. I did not intend on being on here for very long tonight just because it's such a later stream and I've got to get some stuff done. But I figured I would just show up in case there's anybody that wanted to come in and ask a question and donate for it. Beautiful Goddess, hey girl, my free list is closed for the night, but I am doing donations. For yes, no question is $5. If you wanted a little more elaboration, it's $8. If you're not able to donate tonight, you can always check back tomorrow. I offer free reads every time I go live. You just have to get here early before the list closes. You're welcome. Past life reads on here live. Are you talking about the ones that I was offering last night? Like the Karmic Tale, the Matrix, the ones that I was doing. If you're talking about the typed up reading that I was doing last night, I do them offline because I have to do the workup and they require a lot. They're very time consuming. So it's kind of difficult to do that live, if that makes sense. But I can do it for you tonight if you want, but it would be once I sign off. It just takes a lot of brain power and editing, and I go into Canva and take a screenshot of your karmic tale and I send you, it's like a report. Like I send you a full workup. So I, like, for example, with this person last night, I did what they might have been, like possible roles that they might have been in a past life, what challenges they brought with them into this current like life cycle, and what they struggled with, and then after working through those things, how that can help them in this life, essentially. So it's really cool. And then, like, if you ever are dating someone that's like serious, is what I would suggest. Or if you feel like a really strong connection with someone, but you don't know like what's ever going to come of it and you're just very confused about the connection, you could always do a compatibility reading, which breaks down your karmic tale, their karmic tale, and then your combined karmic tale. It is like a whole document. Yeah. It's like, last night was like 14 pages long. It's like 13 or 14 pages. It's usually 4 or 5 pages per section worth of information. And I really try to go in with a deep dive, because if you are, like, for instance, if you're getting the compatibility one, then that's a workup for you, which is the karmic tale. It's a workup for the person you're asking about, for their individual journey from you, aside from you. And then the compatibility, and that's like $90. And it takes me anywhere from like 30-45 minutes to like over an hour to put this together, which is why I'm charging so much for it. But it's extremely enlightening. And the best part about this reading is that it's your destiny matrix. It's like your birth chart. So it's like you don't have to keep paying for the reading. You get it once and then you keep it forever and you have that information. So it's not one of those things that you have to pay for time and time and time again, which is why I like it as well. Because unless for whatever reason you want to do, like, for instance, you and someone else, and then maybe like a year later you want to do it with someone else, then yeah, you're going to have to get it a new one each time. But if you just want one for your individual self, if you want the karmic tale reading for your individual self, then that's a one and done. That information doesn't change. You want to donate for a tarot reading? That sounds good. And then also with the Destiny Matrix, it can talk about your talents. It can talk about like your natural abilities and talents. and how the world sees you. It talks about the talents you get from your dad's side, the talents you get from your mom's side, maybe the things that you inherited from them, both positively and negatively. There's also a section where it's like all about you and all about your mission. And then there's a section for your money. So if you're having trouble obtaining the type of money that you want, you might be working in a completely wrong style of career for you. So you could look into that. You could also look into your love line and see if there's any blocks there. So it's a really cool system. And also it embodies the chakras as well. So it kind of shows where if you feel an imbalance, why that might be and how to work through those things. So it's really cool. It's a really cool tool, I would say. It's a lot of fun. And I think because not a lot of people know about it, it's even more fun for me to do because it's like I'm introducing you guys into something new. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. Hey, Chica. Send me a message whenever. Obviously, it doesn't have to be tonight, but send me a message whenever you want to get that reading done at any point, your past life one. And we can do that separately. I actually heard a really cool thing today about past lives. It's actually something that I've wondered about myself. And I kind of feel like I've gotten an answer for it. But if, like, I heard, again, this is all theory, all speculation, but I heard that your soul can be broken up into many, many, many different pieces, like infinitely many. And I always wondered about past lives, and people talk about twin flames too, because they talk about how a twin flame is like a part of you in someone else. And that's a whole nother story. But it made me wonder about past lives because they talk about how if you can basically fragment your soul, then maybe we don't live past lives, but parts of our soul do. So, like, for instance, maybe this is my one and only time as this part of the soul to enter into this existence. But maybe a part of my soul also lived 100 years ago, and maybe another part of my soul. Do you get what I mean? And then maybe after life, like we come back together. And then when we decide that we want, like, it's almost like we break off, which is like a weird theory. But anyways, I thought that was interesting. All right. So you said contacts your kids have been complimenting you more. It's pretty sweet. Like one of your students said you're really pretty. Oh, that's sweet. It was sweet and caught you off guard. You wonder what your kids at work think of your appearance and demeanor? All right, let's see. All right, so they think you have style. They think that you have class. You might even have some students that kind of like admire you and kind of want to like be like you when they grow up. The message I'm getting is like when I was in 5th grade, I had a teacher named Miss Trembler, and she kind of resembled me. She was like more fair, dark hair, very pretty, thick, dark, kind of like wavy, curly hair. And I just really, really loved her class. Also, that was a fun year for me because anytime that you're at the top of the school, like you're the oldest year in any school, whether it's like 5th grade, 8th grade, senior, it's always like you feel like very cool about that. And then also she shared a birthday with me. So we had the same birthday, June 1st. So it was like I saw a lot of myself in her. And at this point, I was in 5th grade. It's very possible that she was like in her 20s. But in my mind, she was like 40 something, right? So with this image that Spirit is giving to me, it's that your kids look up to you. And in that same way that you have certain students that look up to you and idolize you and say, I want to be like her when I get older. Like, I want to be just like her. And I feel like they really like your style. Whenever I pull this card for you, 6 of Wands, it indicates like the way that you adorn yourself, the things that you wear, how you carry yourself, but more specifically, like if you accessorize, if you have certain school wardrobes, if it's like the way you do your hair, things like that. I feel like you have some students that really, really look up to you and think you're so cool and just think you're so much fun. I also feel like they look at you as someone who puts a lot of time and effort into their appearance. So it's like, let's put it this way. Even if you're comfortable, I don't think you ever look non-presentable. I think that the kids feel that you carry yourself with a lot of professionalism and care about what it is that you're wearing to school. And I think that you have like a fun and quirky style to them. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you walk in with like fruit earrings, like little grapes or strawberries or something, and like a little rainbow clip in your hair or something. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you have some kind of like just fun, like Miss Frizzle. Did you ever watch The Magic School Bus? And she had like this very eccentric style about her that was very unique to her, and she was very beloved. That's what it makes me think of, is that you have some kind of style where it's like not unheard of, or it's not heard of. Like, you come in wearing certain things that are just like very different, and they're a lot of fun. And I feel like they really, really appreciate that about you. You came in with strawberry earrings. Girl, you would think that I was in the room and I could actually see you. Oh, that's crazy. I've always accessorized with earrings in my hair because I wear just regular uniform, but I try to make it cute. Yeah, I can. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm seeing like fruit earrings for some reason. That's a very specific message. Yeah, but it's like Miss Frizzle. It's like you're very beloved and you're a little out there, a little eccentric, but you're very nurturing and you're very inspiring. And I feel like that's what they see from you. They look at you as someone who is a lot of fun and wears fun things. And I think that it makes them feel like they can identify with you in some ways, because I think that as we get older, there's like this impression that we have to be so serious and like we have to be so adults in a certain kind of, carry ourselves a certain kind of way. And I think the best adults are those that have a little bit of their inner child still showing through. And so when a kid sees an adult wearing something that maybe they would want to wear, it feels like a connection. It feels like a bond, because it's like, oh, this teacher doesn't take herself too seriously. Like, look at those earrings. I'd want to wear those earrings. You just have this way that like makes it so that you feel approachable to them and you feel relatable to them as well. And I think that when you get a compliment from a student, you can really take that compliment to heart, because I feel like a lot of times kids, especially, they tell the truth. I guess sometimes kids don't if they think they're going to get in trouble. But generally speaking, if kids are like offering a compliment or a remark or something along those lines, they are speaking from the heart. So I think you can take that to heart. what she said. Or was it a girl? Was it a little girl that complimented you? I don't know why I said she, so I'm wondering if maybe it was a little girl. Did you say? Yeah, it was a little girl. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I was like, I don't think she told me, but I felt girl. And a lot of times when I say things accidentally, like she or something like that, then that's a message that I am on to something. There's you who literally cackles and playfully smack. Yeah, it was a little girl. Hey, Sky, welcome in. I am. I'm doing donated reads tonight. Yes, I am. So yeah, I feel like you, Amy, just as a whole, you're inspiring, you're relatable. Your kids feel like they identify with you, like they still see like maybe the kid in you a little bit, and that puts them at ease and makes them feel more comfortable. And I think your general style is very quirky. And I think they really love that. I think that's a great thing for kids. I think when kids see adults walking around with, strawberry earrings or a really funny pattern dress with pockets, or maybe their hair is like in a certain kind of unconventional way. I think like there's just certain things you can do to just bring a lot of youthfulness and fun and zaniness to the classroom. And, you know, you're still professional, but it makes the kids feel like they're having more fun. Hey, Sky. Yeah, so the free list is closed for the night. We're just doing donations right now. This weather tonight is like really throwing me, or tonight, this week has been really throwing me off. Because I'm like hot and then I'm cold and then I'm hot and then I'm cold. And it's just so temperamental. You're welcome, Amy. Thank you for that question. That was a lot of fun. I know, right? I wanted to go on earlier, but I lost my train of thought. I had to go to the store. And I had like a really off night last night as far as sleeping goes, because I've been having to take caffeine pills lately. So it's like messing with my sleep. Yeah, the weather is fucking crazy. And like, I don't mind if you're going to be cold one day and then you're going to be warm the next day, that's fine. It's not ideal, but whatever. It's like when one day has like 7 different like temperatures, that's when I'm like, okay, enough is enough. Like, this is crazy. But anyways, last Wednesday was pretty slow too, actually. Now that I think about it, because Monday I didn't work last week. Tuesday I did offline readings. Wednesday was really slow. So I'm wondering if maybe Wednesdays are just going to be like this. I think actually last Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, was the night that I went over to TikTok Live for a little bit. Because it was so slow. Amy, did you hear the story that I was saying about my brother earlier? It's like the craziest story, man. Yeah, the last couple of weeks, Wednesday, have been slow as heck. But you know, I mean, that's okay. It changes. I remember when I first started, Thursdays were like the best nights. And then it went to Wednesdays being the best night. And I guess now I'm back to Thursdays. So I think it just depends on the season, depends on where people are at in their lives, how busy they are, what their schedules are. Oh, I was saying that my brother's car crashed into another vehicle today without my brother being in the car. It's freaking crazy. Hey, Jasmine, how are you? I know. He said that he parked his car, put the hazards on. He said he was running into FedEx for just like a minute. He's like 30 seconds even. He was like, I literally was running in to literally grab something and walk out. And in the time that he was inside of FedEx, his car started rolling down the road. And a security officer or some type of guy in a uniform came in and was like, hey, does anybody own a white SUV that was parked outside of here? And my brother was like, yeah, me. And he's like, okay, so you might want to come out here because your car is rolling down the road, crashing into other vehicles. And he's like, what? So then he like hangs up. He hangs up on my sister because my sister was on the phone with him at the time. And he tells me after the fact, and he's like, if crash into a Porsche, of course, of all cars. He's like, I have no idea, Amanda, like how that happened. Jasmine, do you want to post your question? He was like, I have honestly no idea. He's like, I have no recollection. Like, did I not put the car in park? Like, I mean, did I put it in neutral on accident? Like, I mean, he's like, what happened? Because when he got out of the car, his car was parked. And then when he walked inside, I guess that's when it started rolling. I was like, was it on a hill or something? And he was like, barely. He's like, it's a straight road. But he said, if you look really closely, you can see that it's on a little bit of an incline. But he was like, and then he said he's not sure. He said he has to figure out the details from the other lady. But this other woman was in the driving lane, not parked. She was just in the driving lane. I probably like with her hazards on too. And she had said that she was waiting for her kid. So my brother was like, I don't even know if the car that my car crashed into her car and she wasn't even in the vehicle. Because he said that he was very frazzled, so he missed a lot of the details. But his friend who was there with him says that she believes that she recalls the woman saying that she wasn't even in her car either. So I think what ended up what happened is that these two cars crashed into each other with no driver in the vehicle, in either vehicle. So it's like a car accident that happened without human beings inside. I'm really glad that nobody was hurt and everyone was fine, but just a very scary like freak accident situation. And I was like, damn, like Mercury really got him this time. Yeah, I'm glad he wasn't in the car. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. He was able to drive the car off. Like the cop followed him home, made sure he got back okay. He didn't have to have it towed. It is going to cost a lot of money to fix, but it seems like mostly cosmetic. No one got injured. Nobody else was hurt. Yeah, I mean, he basically was like, I'm just counting my blessings because he was like, this could have been hell. I mean, he thought he was going to get arrested. He literally thought that like he was going to get in trouble for it. So I'm glad that it all worked out for him, but let's just say he's had a day. Jasmine says, I'm good. You were right, by the way, about C. I was right. What was I right about? Bodie! Oh my God. He's back with the snacks. He's trying to get the snacks out from under the pantry. A wild ass retrograde. My phone's been glitching a lot. That's been weird. I chalk it up to it just being an old phone, but my sister said that her phone's been acting weird too lately. I'm gonna knock him out. Excuse me, sir. We're not doing snacks right now. We do them when your dad comes home, remember? Oh my gosh, are you serious? Wait, how did you find this out? I thought so. I felt it, but I was like, how did you find out that he knows? What do you mean Instagram? Were you guys talking to each other? You've been more clumsy. Not gonna lie, something meds. I smack my bestie's dog on the butt for doing the most. Yeah. Yeah. I don't, because whenever I get up and walk over to them, they just run down the hallway. And then they run back and do it all over again. So it's like they know. I know in their minds, they know, like, hey, this behavior is not okay. But, you know, we live in a 1,000-square-foot home. It's not like we have stairs that they can run up and down. And, you know, I can only get but so mad because they have their own bedroom. They've got toys, activities. They've got a cat tree, a cat condo, cat bed. You know, they've got like everything they need. But at the same time, I do understand getting stir crazy and I understand feeling bored. So I can't like get too mad, you know. He liked a picture. You're so embarrassed. I know. My cats know. My cats are like toddlers. Wait, so Jasmine, hold up. So okay, I feel like I'm missing so much information. Well, first of all, you can post your question if you're ready. I saw that you donated for an in-depth. So if you want to post your question, go ahead and do that. But besides him liking your picture, have you guys had any conversations? Like basically, how do you know that he knows you like him? Like how do you know that he knows? I'm glad that he liked one of your pictures though. That's nice. Zoomies. I'm gonna head out, eat a snack, maybe read a little. That's perfect, Amy. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thanks for being here, girl. I hope you enjoyed your reading with me. I appreciate you. And remember, like, you can send me a message anytime you're interested in that karmic tale reading, and we can do that for you offline. So just let me know when you're interested, when you have the funds and you want to get it done. Just send me a message. It's embarrassing. Oh, no. Yeah, let me know. Oh, my gosh. Well, what would you like me to look into for you, Jazz? Sleep tight, Amy. Your question is about him, which I see happening. You don't want to come off as weird, but you're sure he's used to admirers. What do you see him thinking about you? Okay, let's see. Is there any way it can go back to being a crush? What do you mean? I'm sorry, I'm confused by your question. What are you saying? Like, are you saying can you go back to how things were? I wish he didn't know that you liked him, to be honest. I didn't think he would even notice you like that. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Can things go back to how they were? Can things go back to how they were? And long story short, I don't think that things are going to be able to go back the way that they were, to be honest. I think once the cat is out the bag, so to speak, you really can't put that genie back in that bottle. But I think that you can make it less awkward if you wanted it to. Like, you guys could just ignore that aspect. Like, once he knows, he knows. Once you know that he knows, you know. Like, it's not really something that you can kind of forget. But I do think that with time, you would be able to convince him that you don't have a crush anymore. Does that make sense? Like, think about back when we were kids and we had crushes on people, but now that we're adults, we don't anymore. Like, I think that if enough time goes by, I think that you would be able to convince him that you're no longer interested. So that would really just depend on what kind of path that you wanted to take with that. So you just would need some time, and maybe he would think that you had a little crush, but then you moved on. I don't think you're coming off as weird, I would say. I think you're coming off very, like, protective of yourself, very, very kind of guarded, but I don't think that you're coming off weird. I think he is used to admirers. I think he enjoys this aspect that you are crushing on him. I think that it makes him feel special. He's very flattered about it. Remember, I said he's got a really good heart. So, yeah, like I said, I don't think you can put the genie back in the bottle. We have the Fool here. So this kind of talks about a new start. It kind of talks about how, like, it's happened. There's nothing we can do about it. But I think that if you showed interest in someone else, if you got into another relationship with someone else, or if enough time had passed, I think it would be very easy to convince him that that was temporary and you no longer have those feelings anymore. There is the Ace of Wands here. So I feel like from his perspective, he is open to you as a prospect. I wouldn't necessarily say that he's crushing out on you, but I would say that he's the type of person that is like never say never. I think that he is the type of person likes to keep himself open to any opportunity that comes along. And so if something were to progress with you, he wouldn't shut it down right away. I think that he is fine and seeing, what this is all about. you do have a little bit of like chemistry with this person. And so I think that he is in a place where he would be like, okay, like if there's something here, if something develops, then something develops. But I really think that you have control over how this goes. So if that's the road you want to go down and you are also open to seeing what comes of this and you're noticing him liking your pictures more and maybe you're, what's the word? Reciprocating that same energy. Maybe you're liking pictures of him and things like that. And it starts to snowball. I mean, that could also be an option. But if you're like, no, I just really would rather keep things low key, I'm not trying to do that, then I think really all you need is just some time, because I think you'll overcome this and I think he will eventually let it go. He's not going to forget, but I think that you'll be able to convince him that maybe the crush was brief and it no longer exists. And maybe at some point when that happens, that will be true. Or maybe you'll just have this crush forever until you find someone else. But yeah, I mean, hopefully that answers your question. I think if it were me, like if I were you and I wanted to play it cool and I didn't want this person to think I'm weird or I'm stalkery or I'm obsessed or I'm crushing out or whatever, and I wanted to just kind of lay low, then what I would do is just not really interact with it for that person. I would kind of hang back and not really do much. Yep, not going to forgive because of ego. Exactly. I think when anybody has a crush on someone and they know, it's very flattering, and I think it's something that you always remember. But let's just hope that you're one of many and you can kind of fall away back into the shadows from which you came, and he'll eventually like move on from that thought. So yeah, I think that you can, I think in a sense you can go back, but just it'll be different. It's just you need some time. So let me ask. So I take it deep down, you're like, I don't want to go there. Is that kind of what you're thinking? Like, what if he said to you, I don't know much about you, but you're attractive and I would like to get to know you more. Would you be open to that kind of conversation? Or would you be like, no, thank you? You're inspired by his work. To be honest, you had no idea he would even notice your comments. Oh, he has a lot of followers. I don't know, girl. Maybe you're manifesting something to happen. I mean, stranger things have happened. I will tell you, my husband's best friend, he has known him since middle school, and they've been friends ever since. And let me just put this into perspective. My husband's 37 years old. So they have been together for well over 20 years. And his friend is in or was in a band in his early 20s. And it's a very well-known band here, like near where I live. And they don't do anything together anymore that much. I think maybe they practice together every once in a while, but they got really big and they had the opportunity to get even bigger. And they toured with other bands that you might know. They went to Europe as well. They toured with Paramore and Good Charlotte and I think like Newfound Glory. This was like back when these bands were like huge. And his now wife used to go to their shows, used to go to their concerts all the time. His now wife used to go to the shows all the time as a fan. And now they're married and they have a kid together. So she manifested this relationship, and here we are, a marriage and a child later, and they have a house and they're living together. And she started off as a fan. So stranger things have happened. You never know. Yeah, I mean, like that's the story. It's a lot of like her older brother used to bring her to their shows all the time, and she like was just this huge fan of them. And she had a tattoo of one of their lyrics that one of the bandmates wrote, and she like got it tattooed to her body. She was like a super fan of them. And she went to like all their shows that she could, and it was like a way to connect with her older brother. And yeah, I mean, she fell for him. She reached out to him on Twitter. They started talking. They ended up dating, and that's all she wrote. The rest is history. And we always laugh about how she was a stalker turned wife, but obviously it's not exactly what happened. But it's a really sweet story. It's a super cute, like meet cute. So all I'm saying is that stranger things have happened, and just because he has a lot of followers and maybe has a lot of girls that are interested in him, in my personal opinion, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen. And just like their story, if it wasn't for her older brother introducing her to the band and taking her to these shows and all of that, she would have never met him. And they actually have pictures of the two of them together before they ever started dating. So that's kind of fun too, because she got pictures with the band before. So it's a fun story. And I don't think you should let, and I saw that you donated again, by the way, so you can post your question whenever you're ready. I don't think that you should, let his follower count or whatever, like, discourage you from feeling like you're not being noticed, because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. You were fine with not being noticed and all the cat's out of the bag. Yeah, that's true. Cat's out of the bag, girl. Can't put that genie back in the bottle. But that may be uncomfortable for you, but it's not the end of the world. And you never know. It could be the start of something amazing, or it could just be something that fades out. And it is what it is. But as they say, I think it's something that I saw on the show Friends, where it's like, it's never a bad thing for someone to hear you say that you love them. It's never a bad thing for someone to know that you're crushing out. Like it's always going to be a flattering thing and an awesome thing to hear, or an awesome thing to know. So no one's ever going to get mad at you for having a crush on them. No one's ever going to get mad at you for caring about someone. So it's always going to be flattering. Aw, I'm sorry. I don't want you to be embarrassed. What do I see happening between you guys? Okay, let's see. All right, what do I see happening between you guys? This is it's a slow night, but this is also kind of fun, right, Jasmine? Because it's just you and me. It's kind of like a private reading. What do I see happening between them, please? Jasmine and C. What's happening between them? Just curious. You're definitely not going to say anything further to him because I feel like I've been spotted without you knowing. Well, here's what I will say, Jasmine, is that if you're blocking the energy, you're probably not going to see much from this reading. We'll see. We'll see what comes through, but every decision that we make puts us on a certain path, or as I call it, a trajectory. So if your plan is to kind of keep a low profile, and that's the decision that you stick with and decide to make, it's very possible that you'll block the energy enough where nothing will really happen between you guys. So if you completely made up your mind on that, he could still pursue you, and that's why I want to pull cards. And maybe he could pursue you enough to change your mind. But just keeping in mind that whatever decision we make in life does affect the outcome of the energies when I pull for you for tarot. So let's see. What's going to happen between them? What's going to happen between them? Oh my gosh, I'm so cold. My house is freezing right now. What are his actions going to be? What are his actions? What are his actions? Okay, so as of right now, you guys are just going to keep the same kind of connection that you currently have. I do think he's watching you. I do think that he's keeping an eye on you. And I think that, as I mentioned, you guys have some kind of chemistry here. And so I think that he will interact with you via social media. Still, this talks about a challenge that we overcome or we feel like is not as big of a deal as we originally thought. So right now, maybe you feel like this is so embarrassing, like you're so uncomfortable. This is just like not how you wanted things to go. But maybe later on, you're going to feel like it's not as big of a deal as you thought it was going to be because maybe something good comes out of it. I feel like this is the card to me of social media. Whenever I see this card, it makes me think they're observing you, they're learning about you, they are watching your social media, they're watching your posts, they might even be engaging. This is the card that talks about learning about you. So I do feel like he's kind of watching, seeing you do your thing. If you like his attention, keep posting because you might get more interaction and engagement with him. Is he following you, by the way? And then also the Page of Cups means that he's saying never say never. Like, This is the card of believing in the impossible. So do you see a little pig in the corner right here and it's flying? You know the expression, oh, that'll happen when pigs fly, meaning that that'll never happen because pigs don't fly. Well, guess what? It's not impossible because there's a pig flying here. So it means that it is possible. So he's saying, I'm believing that things are possible. I'm believing in the impossible. Anything can happen. I'm not going to shut it down. I think because he has chemistry with you, Jasmine. I'm sorry to say, but I think that he does have attraction for you to some extent, and I think that he's in a place where he's not putting all his eggs in your basket, but I think that you've caught his eye, like he's noticing you now. He's noticing you more. And I think that he would be open to getting to know you a little bit more. This card right here is the card of kinship, and it talks about how you guys have a lot in common and that you could potentially use this common ground to build a bond with one another, to build a connection with each other. Okay? This is the card of new beginnings, and this is the card that showed up in your last reading where I said, the cat's out of the bag. You guys have to move forward from this now that he knows. So I think this can go one of two ways. I think that you can get a lot of what you want out of a connection with this person if you're open to it, or you can completely shut it down and keep things at a distance. So I really think that it's up to you. But as far as his energy in your direction is, he's noticing you. He's observing you. He wants to learn more about you. This man has a woman chasing him. I'm intimidated a little bit. Jasmine, what I think is that when men are being chased, they run. Okay? So 2 things. I want you to have a little more confidence in yourself. And if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. And secondarily to that, when anything gets chased, it runs away. If you chase a rabbit, if you chase a cat, that thing's going to go running. If anything is chasing you, you're going to run. If you see a man on the street and he's chasing after you, you're going to run. If you see a tiger chasing after you, you're going to run. It's the energy of the chase. You're going to run away from it. So if there's a woman that's really laying it on thick and chasing after him, I think that his knee-jerk reaction is going to be to run away. Now, his ego might be a little self-serving, like he might be flattered at first by the attention, but I think that when someone is giving us more effort and energy than we actually want, we can get a little turned off by it. We can feel like this person's getting a little bit weird, a little bit obsessed. So don't worry too much about what other people are doing, because you don't know at all if he is interested the way that she is. And if he's engaging with her stuff and if he's commenting and he's liking, well, that's his prerogative. That's his choice, if that's what he wants to do. But there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you may not be aware of. And me personally, I don't mind being pursued. But if I feel like someone is literally chasing after me, like trying so hard to like be with me, and it's getting then that gets weird and that gets creepy. So you can let that whole situation play out the way that it's going to. But Jasmine, nobody else can offer someone anything the way that you can. You're unique and you're different, and you offer something that other people don't. And he will see that. If that's important to him, he will see that. So I think just keep being you. Have a little more confidence in yourself. You're welcome. And just let it ride. You can see with this Queen of Pentacles, she's unbothered. You know, she's like, whatever. And I think that you could learn a little bit from that energy, just like be more like this, where he knows you have a crush on him, so be it. He's got a girl chasing after him, so be it. This man is taking notice of you and feels that there's kind of some chemistry happening. And he's probably thinking to himself, it may be nothing. But then he's also thinking, but I'm open to it. It may be everything. So I think don't think too hard about it. I know it's easier said than done, but try not to overthink it and just let things happen the way they're going to happen. And if you're looking for more engagement from him, if you want to communicate with him more, just act yourself. Don't do what the other girls are doing. Don't be like liking all his stuff to try to get attention from him. You know, you can comment things every once in a while, but make it different, make it stand out, make it like he sees you, not just another girl that's trying to get with him. Like, just be yourself, be authentic to yourself in that regard, and catch his eye, post more stuff, you know, that maybe he'll be interested in seeing. So, in conclusion, I think that this could be like great if you're open to it, but if you're kind of on the fence still, or you're like, nah, I don't really want to engage in this, then I think you can shut it down. I think that would be something that would be within your power to do. So, but I still think he's going to be paying attention to you regardless. But I think that you also, you know, if you want it to go farther, you would kind of need to show a little bit of interest to him. I know. I can tell. I can tell you're shy. But you can probably speak to him in ways that other girls can't. Other girls might be fans. And like I said, you have a lot in common with this person. You are the Hierophant. So he would be able to connect with you on a deeper level simply because of the common ground that you share, like through music. If someone says to you, I find you so hot, you're so attractive, da 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 da, you'd be like, okay, thanks, like that's very flattering, like appreciate it, that's awesome. But if someone says your talent inspires me, that is the kind of compliment that is going to stand out above the rest. And if you have that kind of connection with him and you can create that kind of bond where it's like you guys understand each other in a spiritual kind of way, I don't think that any girl can just come in and disrupt that. So I think really just take a breath, let things happen as they're going to happen, and you know, maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised. Yeah. He's so fine. Oh my gosh. All right, I just checked my donation list. I think that's it for the night. Been here for over an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it an evening. But I will be back tomorrow, which is technically today, but I'll be back later in the night, Thursday. And I'll see you guys then. I'm going to be back with free readings tomorrow. You're welcome, Jasmine. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their night.